Okay, so we are done with the introduction to anemia, and now let's learn about the first group of anemias, which are disorders of iron kinetics and heme metabolism. Okay, so guys, these disorders are categorized as anemias of impaired production resulting from lack of raw materials necessary for hemoglobin production or hemoglobin assembly. Okay, and there are different group of anemias under disorders of iron kinetics and heme metabolism. We have iron restricted anemias. We also have sideroblastic anemias, which includes your porphyrias. And lastly, we have the hemochromatosis. Okay, so let's start with iron restricted anemias. Okay, so these anemias are caused by limited iron. Okay. And when iron is the limiting factor, okay, we call the anemias as iron restricted. Okay, and that is in contrast to what is being observed in hemoglobinopathies and the thalassemias, which are considered to be iron loading anemias. Okay, so iron restricted anemias, uh, we call them as iron restricted anemias when the iron is the limiting factor. Okay, and there are two types of iron restricted anemias. We have iron deficiency anemia and we have the anemia of chronic inflammation. For iron loading anemias, we have your hemoglobinopathies and your thalassemias. Okay, so let's start with the iron deficiency anemia. So, IDA, my dear students, is the most common anemia worldwide. And there are several causes of this condition. Okay, we have number one, inadequate iron intake. Okay, we also have increased need relative to iron supply, okay, or that is simply saying increase iron demand, okay. Other than that, we have impaired absorption and lastly chronic blood loss. Okay, so let's discuss about each etiology or about each cause, starting with inadequate iron intake. Okay, so as I have told you before, in iron kinetics, okay, there is approximately 1 milligram of iron being lost by the body daily. Okay, so every day we lose approximately 1 milligram of iron, and that 1 milligram of iron is replaced by diet. Okay? However, when iron intake is consistently inadequate, okay, this will result to the erythron, okay, yung totality of RBCs in our body, okay, the erythron will slowly starve for iron, okay, and in that case, the iron stores will become depleted. Okay? So if there is if the intake of iron is consistently inadequate, this will lead to erythron, okay, is slowly starving for they will slowly starve for iron, and in that case, okay, the iron stores will become depleted, and therefore that will compromise the heme synthesis, okay, as well as the hemoglobin synthesis. So if decrease ang heme synthesis natin, of course, decrease din ang production ng hemoglobin, because heme is a very important component of hemoglobin. And if decrease ang hemoglobin natin, then there will be insufficient erythropoiesis, which results to decreased number of RBCs in the circulation. Okay, so that's the consequence of inadequate iron intake. Okay, Next, let's have increased need relative to iron supply. Okay, so here, during infancy, childhood, adolescence, okay, or di kaya pregnancy, or even in lactating mothers, okay, these population or these individuals, they have okay, yung mga infants, yung mga adolescents or pregnant women, lactating mothers, okay, these individuals, guys, have an increased demand for iron. And if iron intake is less than their demand, then anemia may develop. Okay, so if the necessity exceeds, okay, if the necessity for iron exceeds the supply, okay, there will be iron deficiency and anemia will develop. Okay? So, that's it for tawag dito, that's it for increased need relative to iron supply. And in that case, guys, you have to understand that as the need for iron increases, dapat yung supply nag-i-increase din. Okay? So, nagkakaroon ng iron deficiency, okay, kapag yung demand for iron, it exceeds the supply. Okay? So yan, that's the consequence. Okay? Another etiology for iron deficiency anemia, another etiology of iron deficiency anemia is impaired absorption. Okay? So dito, sa impaired absorption, the intake is not the problem. Okay? The intake is not the problem. So, even if there is adequate iron intake, if there is impaired iron absorption, then anemia may develop. Okay? So, pwedeng ma-develop ang anemia kapag impaired ang absorption ng iron, particularly in the small intestines. Okay, so here in impaired absorption, we have several examples of conditions, okay, na associated sa impaired absorption ng iron. Number one, here we have your celiac disease. Okay, so celiac disease, my dear students, is an immune disorder that damages the small intestines. Okay, and take note, guys, na yung mga enterocytes doon, sila yung responsible sa pag-absorb ng iron from the lumen of the small intestines. So from pag na-absorb yung iron sa enterocytes natin, yung enterocytes, they have ferroportin. Okay? And yung ferroportin na yon, siya yung mag-e-export ng iron from the enterocytes going to the peripheral circulation. Okay? So, if there is celiac disease, of course, okay, decrease ang iron sa peripheral circulation. Okay? And kokonti ang makakarating sa mga cells natin, particularly sa mga developing RBCs. Okay? Other than that, matriptase 2 protein mutation. So, sino ulit si matriptase 2? Siya yung protein na nagka-cleave kay hemojuvelin. Okay? So kapag na-cleave yung hemojuvelin, 'di ba, mada-down-regulate yung ating hepcidin production sa hepatocytes. Okay? So if mutated, if matriptase 2 protein is mutated, then it can no longer carry out its function in down-regulating hepcidin production. And therefore, if it's mutated, then upregulated ang hepcidin production sa hepatocytes. And in that case, okay, inactivated yung mga ferroportin natin, particularly sa macrophages, sa hepatocytes, sa enterocytes. So, inactivated yung mga ferroportin doon. And that prevents the release of iron from those cells going to the peripheral blood. Okay? Next, those diseases also that decrease, okay, stomach acidity. So when we say decrease stomach acidity, it means to say yung mga diseases na nagkakos ng alkaline na pH sa ating stomach. Okay? So, why is that so? Okay? Kasi acidity, okay, or acid pH, okay, facilitates iron absorption. That's a requirement for iron absorption. So, um, if there are conditions that reduces the stomach acidity, then that will impair iron absorption. Mape-prevent ang iron absorption kasi a requirement in iron absorption, normal iron absorption, is that acidic dapat yung pH, okay? Or di kaya, drugs or medications that decrease the stomach acidity, okay? Or medications that can bind to iron, impairing or preventing their absorption by the small intestines. Okay? So I mentioned about sa iron kinetics, I mentioned about phytates, diba? Phytates or even your calcium, okay, yon. Those are precipitating agents. Okay? Those are precipitating agents. Tawag dito, pag binind nila yung iron, mape-prevent yung kanyang absorption, particularly sa small intestines. Okay? So, those are examples of conditions, guys, okay, that can lead to iron deficiency due to impaired iron absorption. Okay. And next, let's have the chronic blood loss. Okay. So, kailan tayo nagkakaroon ng chronic blood loss? If there is repeated blood donations, okay, or di kaya if there is chronic GIT bleeding, gastrointestinal tract bleeding, ito, example nito ay sa hookworm infection. Okay, sa mga parasitic infections, guys, okay? Hindi lang hookworm infections, kundi pati yung schistosoma infections, okay? Particularly, example, we have your schistosoma japonicum or your schistosoma hematobium, okay? Yun. That's it. Nagkakos sila ng chronic bleeding. Okay, chronic bleeding. Okay, other than that, we have gastritis, okay, or di kaya prolonged menorrhagia, particularly, of course, in women, okay, uterine fibroid tumors or uterine malignancies, okay, and of course, we have kidney stones, tumors, or even chronic infections, and even in cases of paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria. Okay? So, here, dito sa mga conditions na to, there is iron loss because of blood loss for a long period of time. Okay? And the iron loss here exceeds the iron intake. Okay? The iron loss exceeds the iron intake, therefore, nagkakaroon ng iron deficiency and anemia develops. Okay? So, those are the different causes, guys, of iron deficiency anemia. Okay? And now, let's proceed to the pathogenesis, okay, of AIDA. Okay? Though I was able to introduce na sa inyo yung stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, I will discuss these stages further. Okay, so let's have the pathogenesis. And in understanding the pathogenesis of iron deficiency anemia, guys, we should always go back to the three compartments of iron in the body. Okay, so the three compartments of iron, we have storage, transport, and functional. Okay? And when there is iron deficiency, okay, when there is iron deficiency, guys, the first compartment being affected is the storage compartment. Okay? It's the storage compartment. Primarily, sino ba ang major repositories ng iron sa katawan natin? We have your macrophages and your hepatocytes. And ano ang nasa kanila? We have the ferritin because we are talking about storage compartment. Okay, so the iron stores are in the form of either ferritin or hemosiderin, which is a partially degraded ferritin. Okay, and the ferritin, most of the ferritin or most of the iron stores are located sa ating macrophages and hepatocytes. Okay, so here, okay, there are stages in iron deficiency anemia. There are several stages. Okay, and just because there is iron deficiency, that doesn't mean na meron ng anemia. Okay? So, anemia or I should say iron deficiency anemia, tawag dito, has three stages. We have the stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. So what is a stage 1? Okay? In stage 1, going back to what I have said kanina, in stage 1, when there is iron deficiency, the first compartment affected is the storage. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ang pinakaunang affected pag sa stage 1, ang pinakaunang affected na parameter, it's the serum ferritin. Okay? Kasi ang unang affected, ang pinakaunang affected dyan is the storage compartment. Okay? So in stage 1, there is progressive loss of storage iron. Okay? And there is also there is um, therefore, there is decreased serum ferritin because that's an indicator, okay? That's an indicator of iron stores, okay? But here, in stage 1, individuals appear healthy. That means to say, anemia is not yet evident at this stage. And in stage 1, okay, we call this as the latent iron deficiency. Okay, the latent iron deficiency. And in other books, okay, they term it as pre-latent iron deficiency. Okay, si Turgeon, okay, ang tawag niya dyan is pre-latent iron deficiency. Okay, but in some books, it's latent iron deficiency. So here, in stage 1, this is one thing that you have to, there are two things that you have to remember in stage 1. In stage 1, RBC production is normal, but without new iron added to the storage, okay, the continuous RBC production in the bone marrow will reduce the iron reserve. Okay? Since there is continuous production of RBCs, okay, mauubos at mauubos yung iron reserve. Okay? And that's why sabi dyan sa stage 1 sa notes nyo, there is progressive loss of storage iron. Okay? So, here, okay, sa stage 1, tatandaan natin the affected compartment is the storage. Okay? So, here, let's have the parameters, okay? The laboratory test values, okay, kapag sa stage 1. Of course, wala akong i-discuss or i-explain sa normal iron status. Of course, normal lahat yan, okay? Hemoglobin, serum iron, TIBC, ferritin, STFR, and hemoglobin content of reticulocytes, okay? But if nagkaroon na ng or nag-progress na siya sa nagkaroon na ng iron deficiency, of course, unang-una dyan is the stage 1 or stage 1 or the latent iron deficiency or the pre-latent iron deficiency. So in that case, okay, or in that stage, I should say, okay, normal pa ang hemoglobin, total hemoglobin concentration. Why? Kasi sabi ko kanina that in stage 1, the production of RBC is normal. Okay, so normal pa ang hemoglobin dito. What about serum iron? Normal pa siya kasi may nagagamit pa sa tawag dito, may nagagamit pa yung cells natin na iron reserve. So okay pa yung iron sa transport. Okay, kasi ang affected lang dito ay yung ang affected lang dito na compartment ay yung storage compartment natin. So yung mga iron na nasa transport compartment, which is indicated by serum iron, okay pa. Hindi pa sila affected. Kaya normal. Okay? What about TIBC? So if normal ang serum iron, if normal yung amount ng iron na nasa transport compartment, then that means to say na okay pa, normal pa ang TIBC. Okay? And of course, dito, decrease na. Okay? Decrease na ang ferritin. Kasi, ang affected na compartment, paulit-ulit ko nang sinasabi, it's the storage compartment. Okay? Other than that, isa pang abnormal na parameter dito is the STFR. Okay? It's the STFR. Why? Soluble transferrin receptor, soluble transferrin receptor. Why? It's because yung iron reserves ay unti-unti nang nauubos. And that's why ang gagawin ng mga developing RBCs natin is to increase the number of transferrin receptor 1 sa kanilang membrane. And sabi ko sa inyo in AIDA, okay, in AIDA, there is increased number of TFR1 on the membrane of cells, and that's why STFR is increased. But as to their number, as it is. Okay? Ang nag-i-increase dito, it's the number of transferrin receptors na naka-express sa bawat cell. Okay? Kaya increase, in totality, increase ang STFR. Okay? Because they are starting to, they are, tawag dito, starting to be deprived of iron. Okay? So, kasi starting to be deprived kasi nga, unti-unti na nilang nagagamit yung iron reserves nila. Okay? And for the hemoglobin content of reticulocytes, it's still normal kasi, babalik na naman tayo dun sa statement ko kanina, that RBC production is still normal. Okay? So, that's it for stage 1. Next, let's have stage 2. In stage 2, okay, the affected compartments are storage, affected na siya, stage 1 pa lang, and in addition to storage, affected na rin ang transport compartment natin. Okay? So here, there is exhaustion of the storage pool of iron. Okay? And if exhausted na yung iron reserves, okay, ang mangyayari dyan is yung mga RBCs natin or yung mga developing RBCs natin, ang pagkukuhanan nila ng iron ay yung nasa transport compartment. Since wala na silang ubos na yung iron reserves nila, so ang next na kukuhanan nila ay yung mga iron na nasa transport compartment. Okay? So, depleted na, exhausted na ang iron stores dito or exhausted na ang storage compartment and nag-i-start ng ma-reduce ang ating transport iron. Okay? So dito, exhaustion of the storage pool of iron, okay, which results to decreasing, okay, or which results to decrease transport iron. Therefore, in stage 2, the compartments affected are storage and transport. Okay? And here, we have an increased TIBC. So why is there an increased TIBC in stage 2? It's because, okay, in iron deficiency, guys, okay, you have to take note, kailangang mag-compensate ng katawan natin, okay? And this is one thing that you have to consider. The apotransferrin, okay, that's the protein na nagbabind ng mga iron sa ating circulation, tama? And once na may nakapag-bind na sa kanya na iron, siya na ay tinatawag natin na transferrin, okay? So, your apotransferrin, guys, is a protein that is, it's a protein primarily produced by the liver. So when there is iron deficiency, the body compensates by triggering the liver to produce more apotransferrin. So mag-i-increase ang production ng apotransferrin so that if there is an increase in the number of apotransferrin, this apotransferrin will bind the limited number of iron available in the circulation. Okay? So, dumadami, nag-i-increase yung production ng apotransferrin natin para i-bind yung limited number ng iron na nasa circulation. And in that case, mag-i-increase therefore ang transferrin. So kapag increase ang transferrin, number ng mga apotransferrin na may nakabind na iron. Okay? So if increase ang transferrin, of course, mag-i-increase din ang TIBC. I discussed that or I explained that sa lab assessment of body iron status. Okay? Yung lab assessment ng body iron status, particularly uh, sa serum iron, transferrin, transferrin saturation, TIBC, yun. Diniscuss ko or inexplain ko sa inyo bakit kapag increase ang transferrin, increase din ang TIBC. Because TIBC talks about or refers to the total number, okay, of binding sites sa transferrin natin. Okay, binding sites for iron. Okay, so kapag marami yung transferrin molecules natin sa circulation, increase din ang TIBC. And that explains why in stage 2, there is increase TIBC. Okay, however, anemia is still not evident. And we can also consider this as latent iron deficiency. Okay, so in stage 2, guys, RBC production is still normal. But without new iron added, okay, without new iron added and with depleted iron stores, the process will rely on the iron available in the transport compartment. And that's why yan, nagdi-decrease ang transport iron natin. And at the same time, nag-i-increase din ang TIBC. And what's the reason bakit increase ang TIBC? It's because of increase transferrin in the circulation. Why? Because, okay, as a compensatory mechanism, kapag may iron deficiency, yung liver, natitrigger siya na mag-produce ng maraming apotransferrin. At yung mga apotransferrin na yan, ibabind nila yung limited number ng iron available in the circulation. And that's why, yun, increase ang transferrin natin. And it follows, increase din ang TIBC. Okay, so that's it for stage 2. Let's have the parameters, okay, laboratory test values in stage 2. So we have here, diba, sabi ko, normal pa rin ang RBC production. So normal pa rin ang hemoglobin, okay, total hemoglobin concentration. For the serum iron, since affected na ang iron sa transport compartment, so magdi-decrease na siya because serum iron is an indicator of iron available in the transport compartment or in the circulation. Okay? Sila yung iron na nakabind sa transferrin. Okay? So serum iron, magdi-decrease siya kasi affected na ang transport compartment dito. And in contrast to that, increase ang TIBC. Okay? Increase ang TIBC kasi increase ang transferrin, okay, sa circulation. And ferritin, of course, mas lalong bababa yan kasi sa stage 1 pa lang, mababa na siya. Okay? And of course, increase din ang STFR. And this time, sa hemoglobin content of reticulocytes, okay, decrease na. Okay? Since affected na rin ang transport compartment natin dito. So, if limited na yung iron sa transport compartment, kokonti na ang magagamit ng mga developing RBCs natin. Okay? Mag-aagawan sila yan. Okay? So, kokonti na ang makakarating sa mga developing RBCs natin. Therefore, kokonti na din ang magagawa nila na hemoglobin. That's why the hemoglobin content of retics ay decrease. Okay? So that's it for stage 2. Next, let's have stage 3. For stage 3, it's the depletion of iron reserves or storage iron plus the depletion of the transport iron, which leads to decrease functional iron. Therefore, to make it very simple, ang affected na compartments sa stage 3 ay yung tatlo na. Lahat na ng compartments. Storage, uh, storage, transport, and functional compartment. Okay? So, sa functional compartment, nandiyan ang ating hemoglobin sa RBCs. Okay? And that's why dito sa laboratory test values, guys, hemoglobin is already decreased. Okay? So, sa stage 3, sa mismong frank anemia, we call the stage 3 as frank anemia because the patient here at this stage experiences signs and symptoms of anemia. Kaya siya tinatawag na frank anemia. And dito, since there is already anemia, so we call it as iron deficiency anemia. Okay, so decrease ang hemoglobin concentration. Okay, other than that, decrease din ang serum iron kasi depleted na nga yung transport compartment natin. And increase ang TIBC, decrease ang ferritin, okay, because wala na, ubos na yung sa iron reserves. Okay, and the STFR, okay, majority of the cells are already starving for iron, therefore increase ang expression ng transferrin receptor 1 sa kanilang membrane, and that will increase the STFR. Okay, and of course hemoglobin content of reticulocytes decrease. Okay, so that's it for the um stage 3, okay, take note that there is decreased functional iron, okay? And here, if there is decrease, dito kasi, depleted na yung storage iron natin, depleted na rin ang transport iron, and here, yung combination ng dalawa, ipe-prevent nila yung normal development of RBC precursors, okay? And therefore, that will cause that will result to a decrease in hemoglobin concentration not only in mature RBCs but also in developing RBCs. Kaya nga yung hemoglobin content of retics dito decrease siya. Okay? And here in frank anemia, ang morphology ng ating RBC, since kokonti ang hemoglobin content nila, ang kanilang RBC morphology is described as microcytic hypochromic. Okay, so we can see microcytic hypochromic RBCs in the peripheral blood in cases of frank anemia or iron deficiency anemia. Okay, so that's it for the three stages of iron deficiency anemia. And must know sa tong mga laboratory test values na to across all stages. Okay? So, now let's proceed to the symptoms of anemia in iron deficiency anemia. So, the non-specific symptoms include fatigue because of decreased oxygen delivery sa tissues. Okay? Nabanggit ko yan sa introduction to anemia. We also have weakness, which is related to, yun nga, decrease oxygen delivery to tissues. Another, shortness of breath, related yung tatlong yan. And of course, pallor. What's pallor? It's paleness of skin. Okay? Paleness of the skin. And other than that, more severe signs of iron deficiency anemia include glossitis, which is sore tongue. Okay. Other than that, we have angular cheilosis, which is characterized by inflamed cracks at the corners of the mouth, and also koilonychia. I will show you pictures mamaya. Koilonychia, which is the spooning of the fingernails. Okay, parang spoon yung itsura nung may paloob sa gitna, yung nails, fingernails, okay, nung patient. That's koilonychia. And pica, which is craving for non-food items, okay? So this is possible. Pica is craving for non-food items such as dirt, clay, laundry starch, or even ice, okay? And sa pica, the most common is craving for ice. And craving for ice is specifically termed as pagophagia. Okay? So, what about angular cheilosis? So, ito ang itsura niya. Okay? So, yan. this is an AIDA patient. Okay, as you can see sa skin niya, the skin is very pale. Okay, so that's pallor. And we have here angular cheilosis, so inflamed. Okay, or there is fissuring and ulceration sa corner ng kanyang mouth. So that's angular cheilosis. Okay? What about letter A na picture dito? So yan yung tinatawag natin na koilonychia. Okay? It's the spooning of the fingernails. Okay? So yan, no? Paloob yung gitnang portion ng nails, okay, fingernails. So that's what we call as koilonychia, the spooning of fingernails. This one is angular cheilosis, and pica naman is the craving for non-food items. Okay, so that's it for the non-specific symptoms and more severe signs of ida or iron deficiency anemia. Okay, so before we proceed to laboratory diagnosis, okay, I just would like to add this in the discussion. Okay, who are at risk to develop iron deficiency? Okay, who are at risk? Anong population ang at risk to develop iron deficiency? Okay, this includes number one, menstruating women. Okay, because every month we are losing blood. Okay, every month we are losing blood, and every month, therefore, we are losing iron more than what men typically loses. Okay? Kasi every day, 'di ba approximately 1 milligram of iron lang. Pero for women, since we undergo menstruation, so we lose more than that. Okay, every month. Okay, every month. That's why menstruating women are at risk to develop iron deficiency. And that's why kailangan nating bawiin yon sa iron intake from diet. Okay? Next, we have the adolescent girls. Okay? Dito sa adolescent girls, aside from menstruation, of course, they have an increased demand for iron, for growth. Okay? For growth. They have an increased demand for iron. For women of childbearing age naman, at risk din sila because of increased demand for iron. Let's say, for example, pregnant women, okay? Hindi yung demand nila plus the demand of the baby. 'Di ba? Demand of the baby. So, doble. So, increase ang demand nila for iron. So, kapag inadequate ang intake nila for iron, then possible na magkaroon ng iron deficiency. Okay? Other than that, growing children, of course, kailangan ng iron for growth. Okay? And therefore, sa mga growing children, increase ang demand nila for iron. Okay? Because that's necessary for their growth. And of course, mga elderly individuals. Why? Number one factor, nutritional deficiency. Okay? Especially for those elderly na living alone. Wala silang hindi enough yung hindi healthy or hindi enough yung kinakain nila. So yan, nutritional deficiency. Okay? Another, loss of gastric acidity with age. Kasi as we age, nare-reduce yung gastric acidity. And sabi ko kanina, kapag decrease yung gastric acidity, okay, impaired ang iron absorption. Okay? So, that would be for elderly individuals. And other than that, yung sa chronic blood loss ko to na banggit kanina, individuals with hookworm infection. Okay? Because here, the parasites suck blood, okay, literally from the gastric vessels, okay? And also, even yung trichura infection, okay? Even Schistosoma mansoni infection and Schistosoma hematobium infection, okay? So parasitic infections can cause, okay, in other words, parasitic infections can cause chronic bleeding, okay, which results to iron deficiency. Okay, so those are the individuals who are at risk to develop iron deficiency. Okay, so that would be for the epidemiology. Okay, next, let's have a laboratory diagnosis. Okay, so we have here screening, diagnostic testing, and specialized tests. So first, we have the screening for iron deficiency anemia. Of course, hindi mawawala dyan ang CBC natin or complete blood count. Okay, so here, sometimes nire-report ang RDW sa CBC result, okay? Pwede natin gamitin yung RDW-CV or the RDW SD. So here, dito sa notes ninyo, that's your RDW CV kasi relative siya. Yan, it's expressed in percentage, okay? So if the RDW is increased, okay, particularly if it's greater than 15%, okay, then we can see that there is anisocytosis. Okay, in that case, there's presence of too small. Okay, combination ng too small RBCs and some normal RBCs. Okay, so we have microcytosis here. Okay, microcytosis and also hypochromia. Okay, why is there hypochromia? Because of decreased hemoglobin sa ating mga mature RBCs. Okay? So the RBCs, they look pale. Okay? They look pale. And they are smaller than usual, okay? Because of decreased red cell volume. Okay? Decreased red cell volume. And other than that, yun nga, decrease ang hemoglobin concentration, decrease din ang hematocrit, decrease ang RBC count, and decrease lahat ng RBC indices. Okay? Other than that, I would like to emphasize that RDW can be an early and sensitive indicator of iron deficiency. Tatandaan nyo yan. Okay? RDW can be an early and sensitive indicator of iron deficiency. So that would be for the screening. Next, let's have the diagnostic testing for IDA. Okay, we have here decreased serum ferritin. Nabanggit ko to kanina sa stage 3. Decreased serum ferritin and of course, decreased serum iron. So the combination of the two is called as sideropenia. Okay, so we call that state as sideropenia. Okay, decreased serum ferritin and decreased serum iron. Okay, also, increase ang TIBC, decrease ang transferrin saturation. Bakit decrease ang transferrin saturation? Ibig sabihin yan, ano bang ibig sabihin ng decreased transferrin saturation? Ibig sabihin, dun sa transferrin sites, okay, iron binding sites, kokonti. Dun sa total ng mga transferrin sites, kokonti lang ang may laman na iron. Okay? And why is that so? Kasi kulang. Limited yung number ng iron sa circulation. So, kokonti lang ang nakabind sa mga transferrin molecules natin. And that's the reason why decrease ang transferrin saturation. Okay? Also, decrease ang ARC. That's your absolute reticulocyte count. Okay? Decrease ang ARC. It's because decrease ang tawag dito, decrease ang hemoglobin decrease ang hemoglobin synthesis dito in iron deficiency. Okay, so in that case decrease yung kokonti yung number ng mga erythroid precursor cells na produce. Okay? So that's it. Decrease ang absolute reticulocyte count. Okay? And that is simply because of decreased number of erythroid precursor cells. Okay? Next, decreased hemoglobin content of reticulocytes serves as a sensitive indicator of iron deficiency. This is also must know. Okay? So that would be for the diagnostic testing for IDA. Next, let's have the specialized test for iron status. Okay? So usually sa IDA, increase ang FEP as well as the ZPP. and increase din ng STFR. For bone marrow iron, okay, we can use the Pearls Persian blue staining, which is the gold standard method for assessing iron stores. Okay, and if we are going to perform the Pearls Persian blue staining sa bone marrow aspirates natin or bone marrow biopsy natin, there will be no stainable iron. Okay? No stainable iron. Okay? So, anong itsura nun? Under the microscope, ito siya. So we have here letter A, that's normal iron stores indicated by blue staining sa bone marrow macrophages. So yung mga blue stains dyan, blue precipitates, okay? Yan, those are the iron stores, okay? And dito, sa letter B, absence of blue staining or absence of blue precipitates, which indicates absence of hemosiderin. And that is because depleted ang iron stores. Okay? So, yan. We have here normal and tawag dito, no, stainable iron. As in, ubos. Ubos yung iron reserves. Okay? So, that's it. For the bone marrow, pearls Persian blue staining. Okay? So here, other than no stainable iron, we also have here decreased ME ratio. What's ME ratio? Myeloid erythroid ratio. Okay? So normally kasi mas mataas ang myeloid. Okay? Mas marami ang myeloid cells compared sa erythroid cells. Okay? Usually it's 3:1 or 4:1. Okay, but in iron deficiency anemia, okay, sa una ha, okay, early in the progression of the disease, okay, the bone marrow appears hyperplastic. Okay, why is that so? Because of increased erythropoiesis. Okay, because of increased erythropoiesis. But as the disease progresses, the hyperplasia subsides. Nagsusubside yung hyperplasia. And intense iron deficiency leads to a decreased ratio of decreased rate, I should say, decreased rate of erythropoiesis. So early in the progression of the disease, okay, increase yung production ng erythrocytes. But as the disease progresses, yun nga, nagsusubside yung hyperplasia, okay? And if iron deficiency is too intense, okay, this leads to decrease, okay, rate of erythropoiesis. So sa una, mag-i-increase siya. Pero eventually, okay, as the disease progresses, bababa din siya. Okay? So, yan yung nangyayari sa bone marrow in iron deficiency anemia. Okay? Other than that, the erythroid precursor cells, okay, particularly the polychromatic normoblasts, okay, ang itsura ng cytoplasm nila remains bluish. Okay? Why remains bluish? Kasi nga, bakit sila yung pinaka-affected pala? Okay? Bakit naka-indicate dyan? Particularly polychromatophilic or polychromatic normoblasts. So why them? Okay? It's because, based on what you have learned nung prelims, okay, it's because the polychromatophilic normoblast is the first stage of RBC maturation where acidophilia becomes evident. Di ba dyan unang nagiging evident yung pagka-pink ng cytoplasm? So normally, pagdating na ng polychromatophilic normoblast, dapat dun sa cytoplasm nila pinkish, a combination of blue and pink. Kasi yan yung unang stage kung saan evident na yung acidophilia kasi increasing na yung amount ng hemoglobin na na-produce dyan. Okay? Dyan sa stage na yan. But in iron deficiency anemia, since deprive yung mga developing RBCs natin ng iron, kukunti ang magagamit nilang iron for hemoglobin synthesis. So, therefore, hemoglobin in those cells ay decrease or reduce. And in that case, since kukunti ang hemoglobin na napoproduce pagdating sa polychromatophilic normoblast na stage, magiging pink sana yung cytoplasm, pero hindi. In iron deficiency anemia, hindi. It remains bluish kasi kokonti yung hemoglobin doon sa cytoplasm. So, no pink color. Okay? And ang kanilang cell membrane ay irregular and shaggy. So, yan sila. Ito sila. Parang may lace-lace dyan sa may paligid nila. So, yan. They have irregular and shaggy cell membrane, and they have bluish cytoplasm in contrast to a normal in contrast to normal condition na kung saan bluish gray yan. Okay, a combination of yun nga yung murky gray. Okay, murky gray. Okay, or murky tawag dito, it's a combination of blue at saka pink na color. Okay, so yun dapat ang magiging color ng cytoplasm ng polychromatophilic normoblast natin, pero hindi yun nangyayari sa iron deficiency anemia. So their cytoplasm remains bluish, okay? And in that case, dyan papasok yung tinatawag natin na asynchronous erythropoiesis. So what is asynchronous erythropoiesis? It is characterized by nuclear cytoplasmic asynchrony. Okay? So anong ibig sabihin ng nuclear cytoplasmic asynchrony? So here, the cytoplasmic maturation lags behind nuclear maturation. So, dapat ano sila? Sabay sila. Okay? Habang nagmamature yung cell, okay, dapat sabay na nagmamature yung nucleus at saka yung cytoplasm. Pero in the case of iron deficiency anemia, okay, nahuhuli yung maturation ng cytoplasm natin. So yon, the cytoplasmic maturation lags behind nuclear maturation. Okay? And the that nuclear cytoplasmic asynchrony, guys, is evident in iron deficiency anemia. Okay? So, that would be for the lab diagnosis of IDA. And lastly, okay, let's have the treatment and its effect. For the treatment and its effect, okay, of course, first therapy there is to treat the underlying contributing cause. Okay, we have to treat the underlying condition na nagkakos ng iron deficiency anemia. And specifically, for nutritional deficiencies or increased need, ang kinakailangan dyan is dietary supplementation. Okay? And usually, yung mga physicians, they give ferrous sulfate 3 tablets per day, and that is considered as the standard prescription. Okay? Also, sa particularly for impaired intestinal iron absorption, such as those patients with gastric achlorhydria or di kaya celiac disease or matriptase 2 mutation. Okay, since ang problema dito is not the iron intake but the absorption of iron. Okay, so pwedeng magbigay sa kanila ng intravenous, okay, IV, okay, na iron dextran. So there is we can give parenteral or intravenous administration of iron dextrans. Okay? Why is that so? Para ma-bypass yung bakit diretso sa peripheral circulation. Kasi kapag intravenous, diretso yan sa blood. Okay? So why is that so? Kasi sa condition nila, yung condition nila, hindi makapag-absorb ng iron yung kanilang small intestine. So, impaired ang absorption ng iron. And that's why, okay, ang gagawin dito is that kailangang i-bypass yung stomach at saka yung small intestines. So, ang ginagawa, nag-administer sila ng iron dextrans intravenously para diretso sa blood. Okay? Para diretso sa peripheral blood. Okay? So, that's it. And the response to treatment include, okay, reticulocyte hemoglobin content na ko-correct siya within 2 days. Okay? So, after treatment, or during treatment, okay, nako-correct na yung hemoglobin, yung reticulocyte hemoglobin content within 2 days. The relative and the absolute reticulocyte count increases within 5 to 10 days, and nagno-normalize na siya by about 2 months after initiation of the treatment. Okay? And another very important thing here is that iron therapy must continue for another 3 to 4 months in order to replenish all the compartments up to the storage pool of iron. Okay? And with that, mapreprevent natin ang relapse. Okay? So, sa therapy kasi or sa iron therapy, it must continue for another 3 to 4 months kasi, okay, dito sa pag nag-administer ka ng or pag ini-start na yung therapy, okay, ang last na compartment, okay, the last compartment being replenished is the storage compartment. Okay? So, siya ang pinakalas na nare-replenish. Okay? And in that case, kung hindi tinuloy nung patient yung iron therapy for another 3 to 4 months, okay, hindi lahat ng compartments ay mare-replenish. So, hindi mare-replenish yung storage compartment. Therefore, possible na magkaroon ulit ng iron deficiency anemia. Okay? So, that's it. That's the importance of adhering or complying to the treatment regimen. Okay, so that's it for iron deficiency anemia. Okay, and we're down to the second type of iron restricted anemia, which is the anemia of chronic inflammation. Okay, so here in ACI, okay, this anemia is associated with chronic inflammatory conditions, chronic infections, and even malignancies. And the central feature of ACI is that there is sideropenia in the face of abundant iron stores. So, ang problema dito ay hindi ma-mobilize yung iron. Okay? Hindi magamit. Okay? Hindi magamit yung iron. So, this is the thing that I have discussed sa functional iron deficiency. Okay? So, the central feature of ACI is sideropenia, okay, in the face of abundant iron stores. And ACI is the most common anemia among hospitalized patients. Okay, so let's talk about the etiology of ACI. So we have several causes here, which includes impaired ferrokinetics, diminished erythropoiesis, and lastly, shortened red blood cell lifespan. Okay, so let's start with impaired ferrokinetics. Okay, so na-introduce ko na sa inyo si hepcidin under iron kinetics, okay? And as we all know, hepcidin regulates iron absorption, particularly into the peripheral blood, okay? So hepcidin is an iron-related acute phase reactant. In other words, okay, nag-i-increase siya, okay, when there is inflammation. So, paano? Okay, so this is the mechanism. If there's an inflammation, the macrophages are being activated. And activated macrophages, they secrete or produce an interleukin, which is your interleukin 6. And interleukin 6 is a cytokine that targets the liver, okay? And ang kanyang effect is nag-i-increase, na-upregulate yung synthesis or production ng hepcidin. And that is the reason why in inflammatory conditions, okay, mataas ang production or increase ang production ng ating hepcidin. It's because of the activated macrophages producing interleukin 6, which targets the liver to upregulate the synthesis of hepcidin. And if increase ang synthesis ng hepcidin natin, ita-target niya yung mga ferroportin located sa mga cells natin, particularly enterocytes, macrophages, hepatocytes, okay? And i-inactivate niya, okay? It will cause inactivation of the ferroportin, Okay? So kapag inactivated yung ferroportin, this will prevent Okay, this will prevent the release of iron from macrophages and hepatocytes, or di kaya this will prevent the absorption of iron from the enterocytes into the peripheral blood. Okay, so yeah, decrease iron absorption from the intestines into the blood, plus iron release from your macrophages and your hepatocytes. And therefore, this will result to decrease iron in developing available for developing RBCs. And this will ultimately lead to decreased RBC production. And that's why in uh, in chronic inflammation, there is anemia. Kaya nga ang tawag sa kanya ay anemia of chronic inflammation. Okay? So that would be for your hepcidin. Next, let's have lactoferrin. For lactoferrin, this is another iron-related acute phase reactant. Okay, and lactoferrin is an anti-inflammatory protein. Uh, if you can still remember, leukocyte discussion, yung sa discussion natin sa leukocyte, isa sa mga components ng granules ng ating neutrophils ay si lactoferrin. And take note that lactoferrin is an iron-binding protein. Okay, it's an iron-binding protein. So here, if we are going to compare the avidity of avidity for iron ng lactoferrin versus transferrin, mas mataas ang avidity. Okay, higher ang avidity ni lactoferrin for iron compared to transferrin. So, if there's lactoferrin and transferrin, yung iron, mas magbabind siya kay lactoferrin. Okay, because of increase or higher avidity of that protein for iron. Okay, so here, anong kinalaman ni lactoferrin sa tawag dito, anong kinalaman ni lactoferrin sa ACI? Okay, so here, if there's an inflammation or di kaya infection, okay, of course, ang mga makikipaglaban dyan na WBC, saya ang ating, of course, number one dyan, ang ating neutrophils, okay? And this will cause release of lactoferrin into the blood. And once released, okay, the lactoferrin binds iron. Okay, for what particular reasons? Number one, it binds iron to prevent the bacteria from using it. Okay? Binabind niya yung iron to prevent the bacteria, the invading microorganism from using iron. Okay? Other than that, binabind niya ang iron to provide protection for the phagocyte. In that case, we have the neutrophil. So, it binds iron to provide protection for the phagocyte from oxidized iron formed when the tawag dito when ROS, or your reactive oxygen species, are produced during phagocytosis. So I discussed about production of or generation of ROS during phagocytosis under lecture 7. Okay? So that's it. Yun yung reasons bakit binabind ni lactoferrin ang iron, okay, once na-release siya sa blood. And the lactoferrin plus the iron na nakabind sa kanya, yung complex na yan, magbabind yan sa macrophages at saka sa hepatocytes natin. Okay? And then the iron will be stored in the form of ferritin. And the iron there remains sequestered away from the developing RBCs. Okay? And take note, guys, that the erythroblasts, the developing RBCs, do not have lactoferrin receptors. And therefore, they cannot acquire iron salvaged by lactoferrin directly. Okay, kaya yung mga developing RBCs natin, kapag may inflammation, nade-deprive sila of iron. Kasi the iron are being sequestered away. Okay? as a protection, okay, pero nako-compromise yung other cells na in need of iron, gaya ng ating mga developing RBCs. Okay, so that would be for lactoferrin. Okay, next, let's have the ferritin. Okay, so ferritin is another acute phase reactant. And I think na-discuss ko na to sa inyo nung uh, um, I explained about the functional iron deficiency. Okay, so ferritin is an acute phase reactant. So when there is inflammation, nag-i-increase ang ferritin sa plasma and binabind nila yung iron. Okay, and iron will be unavailable for developing RBCs. And same is true with your dun sa lactoferrin kanina, ang mga erythroblasts natin, they do not have ferritin receptors and therefore they cannot acquire iron bound by ferritin directly. Okay? So that's it. Okay? So that's impaired, okay? Ferrokinetics, okay? Due to, yun nga, mga iron-related acute phase reactants, okay? So, next, let's have the diminished erythropoiesis. For diminished erythropoiesis, guys, when there is inflammation, uh, nagkakaroon ng release of tumor necrosis factor alpha, that's your TNF alpha, as well as interleukin 1 from activated macrophages. Not only activated macrophages, but also activated T cells. Ang galing naman sa kanila ay si interferon gamma. Okay? And these substances, guys, okay, yung TNF alpha, interleukin 1, interferon gamma, okay, they impair proliferation of erythroid progenitor cells, and also they decrease the response, or they reduce the response of developing RBCs to EPO, and dinidecrease din nila, or they reduce the EPO production by the kidneys. Therefore, okay, ang TNF alpha, interferon gamma, and interleukin 1, they target the both the bone marrow and the kidney. So anong ginagawa nila sa bone marrow? Yun, ini-impair nila ang proliferation ng erythroid progenitor cells. Aside from that, nire-reduce nila yung response ng mga tawag dito, nire-reduce nila yung response ng uh, developing RBCs natin sa EPO. In other words, they are making the developing RBCs unresponsive to the effects of, or to the influence of EPO. So yan ang ginagawa nila sa bone marrow. What about sa kidneys? Yon, dinidecrease nila nire-reduce nila ang production ng EPO. So that's it. Okay? So that's diminished erythropoiesis. So kapag decrease ang production ng EPO sa kidney, decrease ang responsiveness ng mga developing RBCs sa EPO, at saka impaired ang proliferation ng erythroid progenitor cells natin, this will all result to decreased number of mature RBCs in the circulation. Okay, and last, we have the shortened red blood cell lifespan. So in this case, if there's inflammation, okay, nag-i-induce siya ng production or increased production of what we call as hemophagocytic macrophages. And these hemophagocytic macrophages, they are responsible for the destruction of circulating RBCs. Therefore, okay, magkakaroon ng decreased number of RBCs in the circulation kasi merong sumisira sa kanila, and yung sumisira sa kanila, we call them as hemophagocytic macrophages. And these hemophagocytic macrophages, their production is being induced by inflammatory conditions. Okay, so that's it for the etiology or causes of ACI. Okay, we have impaired ferrokinetics, diminished erythropoiesis, and shortened red blood cell lifespan. Okay, so here, ito yung summary, itong illustration dito, ito yung summary ng ating uh, uh, etiology. This is the summary of etiology of ACI. Okay, so here, if there's chronic infection, or if there's malignancy, or if there's autoimmune dysregulation, okay, these conditions will activate macrophages or di kaya mga T lymphocytes. Okay, so yung kapag activated ang ating mga macrophages, nagre-release sila ng tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin 1. For activated T lymphocytes naman, nagre-release sila ng interferon gamma. And these substances, sabi ko kanina, dalawang organs ang tina-target nila. Bone marrow to decrease the rate of erythropoiesis, and the kidney to decrease the production of, or to reduce the production of EPO. Okay? Other than that, ang mga activated macrophages natin, nagre-release din sila ng interleukin 6. And interleukin 6 targets the liver. And ano ang ginagawa niya sa liver? It upregulates the production of hepcidin. So if increase ang production ng hepcidin, ita-target niya yung mga ferroportin located sa intestinal enterocytes to decrease iron absorption into the peripheral blood. And tina-target niya rin yung ferroportin sa macrophages at saka hepatocytes to decrease, okay, the release of, or to impair or to prevent the release of iron from these cells. Okay? So that's it for the etiology of ACI. Okay? Next, let's have the laboratory diagnosis. For the laboratory diagnosis, in ACI, the hemoglobin is usually 8 to 10 grams per DL, but this varies sa mga depende sa patient. And here, there is no reticulocytosis. When we say reticulocytosis, there is no increased reticulocytes in the peripheral blood. And the RBC morphology is usually normocytic, normochromic. However, you have to take note, guys, that when ACI coexists with iron deficiency, ang RBC morphology ay microcytic hypochromic. Okay? Other than that, presence of leukocytosis and or thrombocytosis can be observed. Okay? Another, for iron studies, we have decreased serum iron, decrease ang TIBC, decrease din ang hemoglobin content of reticulocytes. Increase to normal ang serum ferritin, na-discuss ko to sa functional iron deficiency. Decrease to normal ang transferrin saturation, and increase ang FEP natin along with ZPP, the zinc protoporphyrin. But here, normal ang STFR. Okay? Why normal ang STFR? Kasi nga, wala namang problem sa iron reserve. Ang problema, hindi sila namomobilize. Hindi sila nagagamit ng other cells. That's why, okay, so majority of the cells, okay, they have enough iron stores. Kaso, okay, hindi sila nare-release for use by the other cells, okay? And in general, okay, normal ang STFR, okay? So for bone marrow, okay, examination, there is hypoproliferation of the RBCs, okay? And if we perform Pearl's Persian blue staining, there will be abundant stores of iron, particularly in macrophages, but not in developing RBCs. Okay, so that's it for lab diagnosis. Okay, next, let's have the comparison of classic IDA versus ACI. Okay, so we have here the point of differentiation. Okay, what are these parameters? So we have serum ferritin, serum iron, TIBC, transferrin saturation, FEP or ZPP, STFR, hemoglobin content of reticulocytes, and Persian blue reaction. Okay, so for IDA, okay, serum ferritin is decreased, ACI is increased or normal. Serum ferritin, both sila. Serum iron, sorry. Serum iron, both sila mababa. TIBC, increase for IDA, ACI, decrease. Okay? Next, transferrin saturation, decrease both, but pero pwedeng maging normal sa ACI. FEP or ZPP, both increase. STFR, increase sa AIDA, normal sa ACI. Hemoglobin content of retics, both decrease. And for Prussian blue reaction, no stainable iron sa AIDA, pero sa ACI, pwedeng increased or normal. So that's it for the comparison of classic AIDA versus ACI. Okay, and next for the algorithm for diagnosis and differentiation of AIDA and ACI. Yan, ito. Pwede natin gamitin yung transferrin saturation, ferritin, at saka STFR, including the index, yung STFR log ferritin index. So here, if there's anemia, okay, and there is biochemical or clinical evidence of inflammation, and the transferrin saturation is less than 16%, okay, then we have to rule out other causes of anemia. And here, if transferrin saturation is less than 16%, and ang kanyang ferritin ay 30 to 100 nanograms per ml, we have to check the STFR. And if the STFR or if the STFR log ferritin index is greater than 2, then we can consider anemia of chronic inflammation with true iron deficiency. Okay? But if dito na papasok yung tawag dito na papasok yung importance ng Thomas plot natin. Okay? And if the STFR log ferritin index is less than 1, then that's only ACI, anemia of chronic inflammation. Okay? Pero, pwede din nating makonsider na ACI if the ferritin level is greater than 100 nanograms per ml. Kasi ang ferritin sa ACI, increase or normal. Okay, increase or normal siya. And if the ferritin is decreased, or usually it's less than 30 nanograms per ml, we can consider AIDA. Okay, so that's it for an algorithm for the differentiation of AIDA versus ACI. So last, let's have the treatment. For the treatment, we have therapeutic administration of EPO. Why? Kasi pag may inflammation, nata-target yung kidney and reduce ang production ng EPO. That's why we have to administer EPO along with iron. Kasi yung iron sa ACI, hindi na mobilize. Okay? So, it's a combination of EPO and iron. Okay? And the best course of treatment is effective control or alleviation of the underlying condition. Okay? So, we have to treat what causes the inflammation so that we can also treat ACI. Okay? So, that's it for the treatment.